Welcome, everybody, to the Mansfield Buzz. Jordan.
Oh, you wanted me to do that one? I thought you wanted me to do the banners.
It's no big deal. Just punch it.
I'll do it.
Okay.
Welcome to Mansfield Buzz with Jordan and Hurdy. Local business stories, let's dive in early. Jordan asks the questions, brings stories to light. Hurdy runs a tech, keeps production tight. Build trust in a town, discover and explore hidden gems and stores you never heard before. Community connection, that's what we're about. Tune in, join us, see what Mansfield's all about. Mansfield's all about.
Don't you feel a little warm and fuzzy after that?
Well, here's the cool thing. Jordan and I have gotten so used to me coming over to his house and keeping our guests virtual and staying in his studio that, we haven't had to flip the workload between each other off the back end of the studio. So, when I told Jordan, would you mind taking the beginning of the show? He thought I meant the banner. So there you go. No big deal. Everybody, welcome to the Mansfield Buzz. We cover local Mansfield business and surrounding area. There is some talk from Jordan and I that eventually we're going to change this to the Texas Buzz because we get so many people from outside our area wanting to be on the podcast. So we're talking about that. We might slowly make that happen. But in the meantime, you can find us at YouTube at Mansfield TX Buzz. Just go type that in YouTube. If you're already watching this, make sure you go hit the subscribe button below. Also, there's a little thumbs up under this video on YouTube. We ask you to go ahead and hit that like button. It helps the Google algorithm with the show. And we will tell you that you're welcome to chat with us if you like. And if you say hi, we may make you famous and post that. If you have some questions, hit Corey up. We'll post those in the chat too. And if you want to be on our fantastic show and you want to come join us. And by the way, Jordan, we're now officially booked all the way through February. I've already got the first week of March booked, and we're booking out 2 more sessions in March. So we're almost getting in April. So people really want to be on the show, which we love that. And we love interviewing local businesses. Today we have Corey, and Jordan's going to jump in with him in a few minutes. But if you want to be on this show, hurdy@hurdyburke.com is my email. It's right there. Just hit me up. Please put me on the Mansfield Buzz. We'll send you some options on some dates and times. Feel free to join us. It's a small fee, no big deal. But then we make you famous by giving you archives you can post out to all your friends and social media for a long time. Okay. So with that said, Jordan, let's try to coordinate this now. Okay. So we've got Rewind, right?
Yes. Coming up.
So Rewind.
Keep it tight. Highlights prime to ignite. Catch the vibe. Feel the rush. Previously on the Mansfield Buzz.
And then I was like, well, hold on a sec. If you look back over the past 100 years and you look at all of the companies that were founded and are in the Fortune 500, every single one of them were founded during a downturn. So if they are able to overcome the market, if they're able to overcome circumstances,
Right.
then all I have to do is take responsibility for me. Because in the end, we've all heard that saying, you're either in a storm, you're either getting out of a storm, or you're going into a storm. And what most of the people don't want to admit, and I was one of them, is that about 95% of those storms, those are man-made. We did that to ourselves.
Yeah.
We always like to say it's someone else. And so when you sit there, the one thing you can always say, whenever something bad is happening, just tell yourself, I am the storm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the reason why this is happening.
Yeah. So Sam, so what you're saying is stop the blame game and start looking at yourself, right?
Yes. Look in that accountability mirror, because it's all you.
There you go. That's our rewind from Sam Maddox, right, Jordan?
Always with the warm and fuzzies.
Yeah, and so now we're getting ready to introduce our guest, Corey Robinson, and with Texas Air Assurance, and Jordan's going to take that over. But we have a great, what I think, Jordan, and I'm going to let you introduce it. We have a great icebreaker, so we'll be right back after we play that segment, and Corey's going to tell us a fun story that I can't wait to hear.
Yes. Okay. We are off to the races. And this is going to be fun. Corey, you totally blew us away, but we have a really cool icebreaker to kick things off, get you warmed up. But apparently you're quite the athlete, right? Because you spent some time on the floor with the Cowboys.
I did. I did.
Unbelievable.
Can you please tell us a little bit about that?
It definitely wasn't on the field, but it was on the sidelines. I was with the Cowboys. Yeah, I was with the Cowboys for 8 years as one of the ball boys. The guys you see on the sideline throwing the football into the refs. That was me.
Unbelievable.
That is so cool.
And there's got to be some stories. Come on, there's got to be something that was memorable about that, or is it you just wanted to be super invisible? Because that's really what you're doing, right? You're just making sure balls are
so you're there to do a job. You can be a fan, but you can't be a verbal fan. But the one that sticks out for me, I had shared with you earlier. Brett Favre had threw a ball out of bounds just to get rid of it, and it come right at me, and I missed it. And there was a news anchor there that's been with the Cowboys forever. She did not let me live it down for a few games. Every time she saw me, she was like, you missed a pass from a Hall of Famer.
That's unbelievable. What a story. Wow. Fun.
Yeah,
man.
It was good times.
So one more quick question about that. Because you're in the stands with a lot of noise, is it just are the collisions and the speed, or is it just pretty unbelievable on the field level?
You can't appreciate it. If you ever got down on the field with those guys, especially during warm up.
Yeah.
And I was always so impressed by the quickness of the linemen. I'm pretty quick. I weigh 160 pounds. There's not one lineman I think I could outrun. They're that fast.
Wow.
Yeah.
Athletes.
Yeah.
True athletes.
Yeah, that's got to be incredible. Like face to face with it. Because, the altitude of the cameras, you can't appreciate it as well. But just being there, like you could see just that like size of a human at that speed.
Yeah.
And I think, Jordan, something else that'll surprise people, because when I played baseball in college, we played on some older football fields that were converted to baseball fields. People don't realize that you're standing on the sidelines. The field actually has a crown to it, right, Corey? It actually it slopes up and slopes down. You actually have a horizon on the top of the field. You don't see it from the stands, but you do. You do. It's on the field. It's weird.
Yeah.
All right. Enough of that. That's funny. Good story.
That's super cool. And how did you end up doing that?
Yeah, how'd you get it?
So a good friend of mine, I'm going to say this is his 30th plus year. A good friend of mine lives over in Midlothian. He's run it that long. There was another guy, I don't remember the name. I didn't do it with that gentleman, but when he retired out, he turned it over to a buddy of mine, and that's how I got in. About knowing someone.
Yeah. So if you want to get that job, you basically got to check the obituaries.
Yeah. It doesn't have a high turnover. I would tell you that at all.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah. Very cool.
All right. Let's get to the interview. We have some really good questions here that you brought us, and I really want to get into it. But one thing that I love to get everybody started is the beginning, right? Like how this happened, because a lot of us entrepreneurs end up in this space because we went to the traditional job route and then got fed up with it, and then just couldn't do it anymore, and then we went into business. Your path was a little bit different, and I want to know just how did you end up in this field? Like, give me the origin story to your Marvel movie.
Well, it actually begins my senior year. I had a real good mentor as an agriculture teacher, and he realized real quick I was not college material. I was pretty much in school for the girls and the social part of it. Yeah. And he came to me about 3 months before graduation and just said, I've got a technical guy coming in from a school, and I think it's an option you ought to look at. And that guy came in. Actually, that night, the guy went home with me to my parents' house. I got my own student loan, And that's how it began. I put myself through school, and that started my path.
That is really cool. And now, for the people that are not familiar with this, you went to a technical school, and it was an HVAC school.
It was Universal Technical Institute out of Houston.
Okay.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about that, because I think, especially people that went through the traditional route, you think like school, you're going to go to a university. This is a little bit of the less known path. Can you tell me a little bit about these schools?
Sure. Basically, how UTI worked. Great school, by the way. They broke it down in 3-week. They called it phases. So everything was a 3-week phase. So when you first get there, it's basically introduction to refrigeration, introduction to electrical. And as you do about, I don't know, half a dozen of those courses and really start learning how the air conditioning works, the electrical cycles work, it progresses from there. And it was a 12-month school. And basically when you're done there, you get your certificate, you're EPA certified and ready to go to work.
Okay. And tell me a little bit about that transition, because for the most part, traditional like school, when you go through like all the way through high school, you're just doing what they call a general education. And I don't know if you were anything like me, but I mean, those classes for me were super boring. I like the shop classes where I got to use my hands. I was good at those, but the other ones were just not my forte. And then you go into the school, and I mean, this sounds like it was pretty hard work.
Yeah, absolutely. The one thing that I loved about that school, and I've toured quite a few, even as a business owner, because I do hire out of these trade schools, is the hands-on that UTI did. They really pushed the hands-on. I mean, there was a lot of book work, and going to trade school, and something that I had gotten a loan for myself, I wasn't expecting to get homework because I wasn't going to college, and they did. They pushed you. What I really liked too is you had to wear a uniform every day, shirt tucked in. You had to follow a regimen, and if you didn't, they would rephase you. So if you missed more than 3 days in 3 weeks, or you were late more than 3 times, or caught 3 times out of uniform, they called it rephasing. So they were really bringing you into the business world.
Wow.
With some real consequences, real accountability.
Absolutely. And it was for real. I seen it happen. I was fortunate it didn't happen to me, but I saw it happen to some good kids that just had a little trouble following the rules sometimes.
Yeah. And what a blessing for it to happen during school, so it doesn't happen on the workforce, right? Like, sure, you get that lesson early, and then you know.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. That's really cool. So then you went through the school, you got with your certification, and then do they line up a job for you? Is there like some kind of assistance there?
Yeah, they do. So about 3 months prior to you graduating, they allow you to start taking like an hour a day out of your class and start making phone calls. So me being from the DFW area, and at that time, the Dallas Morning News was where you look for jobs.
Absolutely.
So, so I would get that paper and start making phone calls, but the school helps you as well. They give you leads. It's just like me. I get leads from some schools, they'll say, hey, we're hiring, and it's part of the process.
Okay. So then you went off and got your job and then started working for, I'm assuming you started working for other companies.
I did. I had a job immediately once I graduated. I graduated on a Friday and went to work on a Monday.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal. And so now take us through, because we've gone through your education. You now now you have some like valuable skills. You're putting them to work. You went from doing to being a business owner, and I'm curious how that transition happened. And so take us like,
go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, so let's start where you're like, you're being an employee, you're providing value to the company. When did that like wheel started turning for you?
It really started turning early on. I think my goal always was to be self-employed. But, I was fortunate to work for some great companies that actually didn't chunk me in the fire. They put me in the installation, which I think your best service techs out there are guys that know how to install. So I kind of started the process there with a company and moved on and ended up getting with a company that was just purely service. That's all they did. And it ended up being a great job. And I ended up being his lead guy. I think I was 26 years old when I was with him. So for a couple of years, and I was his lead tech, actually basically service manager. And I was running my department. And this is the funny part. My wife at that time, moving back a little bit, we're laying there one night. She's like, what are you thinking? And I'm like, what do you mean? What am I thinking? She goes, you're running this guy's company. I mean, you should be doing this on your own. So I was actually getting the encouragement from her. And I'm going, we have $2,500 in the bank. I mean, I do have a truck. I do have all the tools, and I have the knowledge, and I have the personality. I mean, I'm a hustler, but we have $2,500. You don't know what you don't know. I thought you had to have just thousands of dollars to get started. And she convinced me to do it. And I picked up the ball and ran with it. And 2 years later, I bought his company out.
There you go.
Wow.
I love that. I love that. Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. So then let's that's awesome. Let me unpack that a little bit. So $2,500 and you're like, I'm going on my own.
Yeah.
Wow. That takes some guts, dude. And so how did that go? Like, you made up your mind, you showed up, and then what?
It actually went very well. I was scared to death. 28 years old.
Oh, absolutely.
Scared to death.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But I knew a lot of people. And I knew a great family out of Ennis, Texas, the Novies. So I called the dad and had told him that, hey, I'm going out on my own. So if you guys ever need anything, I'd like to be your guy. Well, he immediately told me to call one of his boys. And he goes, he needs an air conditioner, like now. So I called him up and I'm like, hey, your dad said, call, you need an air conditioner. He goes, yeah, come see me. So I went over to his house. And at that time, I quoted him $5,000. You're not getting that nowadays.
No.
But the man handed me $5,000 that night. And I'm like, well, what are you doing? He goes, I'm paying you right now. Go get the equipment. Let's get it in. So I went the next morning, got the equipment, and it really pushed me and got me started. And that family, within my first year, they actually had built a new office as well. So probably just in my first year, I probably did 40 grand from just one family.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it really boosted me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet it did. That's awesome. Good.
What year was that? So, because you were 28?
That was 1998.
1998.
Yeah. Well, I'm aging myself.
That's all right.
Now
we're
we can
all
do
there. So I'm intrigued by the aspect of this. Okay, so Corey, you went out on your own, and then you said you turned around eventually and bought your boss's that was your boss, his business out. Was he surprised when you walked through the front door, or were y'all staying in touch through this and he knew how well you were doing and you stayed friends, or was this just something where you just went, I'm going to go buy him out and talk to him?
Yeah. So he knew I was coming, and he actually called me. He's a great guy,
good.
probably the best guy that I ever worked for as far as getting knowledge. He just, as far as electrical and air conditioning, he's probably the smartest guy I know, to be honest with you.
Okay. All right.
He a little tough to work for. And he would say that. He ran through a lot of employees, and he just kind of realized that he was better off on his own and not having, because he had several employees. He probably had, at that time, probably 4 or 5 on staff. And again, just difficult to work for, but a great guy. And just said, you know what, I'm done. And he goes, come talk to me. I walked in his building, and I'm even going to share the numbers with you. This is going to blow you away. So he had a shop off Kaufman Street there in Ennis, Texas. Sheet metal shop set up, had a couple trucks, fully staffed office and everything. And said, give me $120,000 and I'm out of here. So I called my banker not knowing it was his banker.
That's easy.
And my banker sent me to the lawyer, which ended up being his lawyer. So within 20 days, I had the company.
Wow.
And I did the only people I didn't keep, and I would have kept, his manager, his office manager was retiring, but I kept the service techs.
Yeah.
So to me, as you look back on that story, Corey, because it's just, do you see some threads in that? Like, when you go back and you see how well that came together, sure, there was hard work in between. Do you just go back and go, wow, there's some things that happened there that probably would have never happened today?
Oh yeah, definitely. And just right place, right time for me.
Yeah.
There is a Thomas Jefferson quote that I really like, where he says, "I believe in such a thing as luck, and I find that the harder I work, the more of it I seem to have."
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Work luck. I love
have
that.
to remember that.
Yeah. Harder I work, the luckier I get.
Yeah.
Amen. All right. Cool. What a story. Thank you. That's if you're an entrepreneur out there and you just heard that and you are on the fence and you have a chance to do something for yourself and you're skilled enough to do it, you're going to be scared. It's going to be frightening. We've all been there. Do it. Just do it.
I know. And I love this roller coaster. Right? We just buckled in. We just went down the first
the first
hill. We just went back up. It's like, oh my God, he hit it. And we just clear the next hill. But now we're at the point where we're like coming to the very top of this roller coaster. And then there's a next drop because now you picked up the company. Now you're at the head, but now you have to run it. And now you have staff. So now your job fundamentally changed. Which I don't know how much of that you knew you were getting into when you took the plunge.
Oh my goodness! Again, I said this earlier. You don't know what you don't know. And I was a good service tech, and I was a good salesman, and I absolutely knew nothing about business, nothing. And it's paid. I'll tell you this: it's paid off. It took a long time.
It's all right.
I would encourage anybody that is going to jump in to figure the business side out a little quicker than I did. It can be a little painful, but you know what? To be honest with you, in this air conditioning field, I would bet you 99% of the people are just like me. They're good techs. They know how to sell. They want to do a quality job, but the business side is so important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Corey, I would say just about anybody that starts a business that's got a skill and they decide to go in business is going to find out that they're lacking a lot of business skills. I mean, we all did. We all went through that, right? We were all over the place trying to figure life out and trying to, that's a pretty normal thing, by the way.
Yeah. So now you're, learning the business on the road, quite literally building the plane as you're flying it. And so, I know a little bit of your trajectory. You started running the business, but you took action towards growing it, educating yourself. Like, you didn't just, you went at it blind, but you didn't stay blind very long. You started taking actions to help you with that. Walk me through a little bit of that.
Yeah. So again, you learn some hardships real early, things you don't know, like taxes. For number one, you just don't know.
Yeah.
Are you doing them right? Are you doing them wrong? And I can tell you, I was doing them wrong. I'm doing them right now.
I know, I'm kidding with you.
But boy, I took a lump. Let me tell you. But so I did, just like you said, I was kind of flying the plane and it wasn't even built yet. And I was just getting after it. And I was just digging and I was working. And then I started realizing that, the longer I was in business, that numbers matter. And I need to start looking at some different things and making sure, because I started bringing staff on. I started getting payroll, insurance, and all these things that I just was I didn't know a thing about. I knew air conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
And I was I want to tell you, I was smart enough. I finally got involved. A lot of these supply houses that you're involved with, they push education towards you about your company and stuff like that. And I bit on one of those deals and put myself through some classes that really changed the way I do business.
Good.
And that was probably 10 years ago.
Good.
Yeah. So it took, I've always done well, but to really, realize the direction I needed to take and what I needed to do, it's because I jumped into an unknown that was there for me and had been there for me for years. I just didn't know about it. And once I discovered it, it's like, oh my gosh, I wish I would have known this back in 1998.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I can relate so much. And I think all of us that took the plunge, we realize there's so much that we don't know that we don't know. And the business side of thing is, it's not as available or, as prevalent as you would think, right? Like I know you can go to school for business, but unless you study that particular, most of us have skills that, we're good at, we've developed them, but we don't necessarily know how to just build a full business around it.
Yeah,
Correct.
Corey, thanks for the memories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so you've, educated yourself. You said about 10 years ago, like really changed the way you do business. I know you're very customer centric. That's another thing that I've noticed is you're very service oriented and it goes beyond just the HVAC, like just caring about the customer and providing a good service. How did that evolve, right? Because it is like deeply ingrained in your company's brand. I think it's deeply ingrained in how you do things, but I'd love to kind of unpack how that developed from you being the service providers to now like steering an entire company, but keeping that because you were able to preserve that throughout. So tell me a little bit of how you managed that.
Yeah. So, early on in my life, being raised by great parents is part of my big success because I've always wanted to do the right thing, and take care of people. And then in the service industry, you're just doing that. And I heard a saying, and you guys have heard me say this before, and this impacted me big time. I wish I would have come up with this myself, but I didn't. But I'm going to own it right now. And that's something I do at all my meetings. And I tell my people don't care what we know. They just want to know that we care. And that's exactly how I run my business.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yes. That is it's palpable.
Yeah.
It's palpable. Even the way you structure your services, that it's apparent, and I mean, obviously I have a marketing mind, so I can unpack offers in like to what's kind of like the foundation of it. And it is present in even the way you structure things.
Yeah.
And I'll bet you, Corey, because of that, you have a lot of repeat and a lot of referral business.
I do. I've had solid customers for years and still growing. And largely part of that is because my team, they're bought into that belief that this is how we're going to do things. And that's how they treat our customers.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. That's another thing that I definitely want to unpack, right? As we're following your arc now, you're leading a company. A big part of it, and I think is the next step up for a lot of us is, when we go into business, even you said it yourself, you wanted to be self-employed. And we transition from being self-employed to being a business owner. And when you're being a business owner, you're being a leader, and now you have employees and you have people that, you're directly responsible for. So tell me a little bit about that. How many employees do you have? And what do you do to retain them? Because they're an extension of you and your business.
Yeah. So right now, our total staff is 15. And I would tell you, and I've mentioned to them, and I've had some great employees in the past. I mean, absolutely. And people that have helped me get to where I'm at today. But this is one of the best staffs I've ever had. These guys are really, really, and they're young. There's some learning curves with that, but they show up every day. And, part of the way that me and Amy are able to retain them is by the way we treat them. Mm-hmm. And I think the biggest thing with these guys in this younger generation, it's not about the money. It's about having a life. And then when you're in the trades like we are, we could run around the clock 24/7 fixing air conditioners. I could have so much work. It's incredible. It's out there. We choose not to do that. Don't get me wrong. I like money, but just for an example, we've got one of our techs, our lead guys. His kid plays high school baseball. He better be at every 4:00 ball game. And we're upset if he's not. So we try to schedule his days on those days that he's done at a certain time, or if, and we work real well with all the techs on scheduling on the weekends, because we do take call on the weekends, but we help, all of a sudden, one guy forgets that his daughter has a recital. Well, we're going to help him figure that out so he can go to that recital, whether it's covering for a few hours or covering for the day. And it's about letting them have a life with their family. And I think that has been the biggest reason we retain our people.
Yeah, it's extending that service mentality, not just to the customer, but to your people as well.
Absolutely.
I like that.
That's awesome. Then good for you.
Who would not want to work in an environment where the owner of the company appreciates their hard work and wants to help them accommodate schedules with family things? It reflects right down to the base. I mean, to me, you'll keep those guys long term simply because where are they going to go? I mean, where else are they going to get treated like that?
Right.
That's just awesome. What a concept.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. So we've now kind of following the origin story of Corey, and now you're you've picked up quite a bit as you're leading this company, but now you've done it for a little bit. You kind of hinted at how many years you've been in business, so it's been a little while. So what are the biggest changes you've seen in the HVAC industry?
Yeah. Well, there's so many things I could talk about, with the refrigerant change and the technology. But honestly, the biggest impact that I've seen that's actually hurting us is the amount of young kids that are not getting into the trades. It is impacting us. They for whatever reason, I would assume they like being in the air conditioning rather than working on the air conditioning. But it's not just my trade. The plumbing trade, the electrical trade are great careers.
Yeah.
These kids can come out of high school and get a great job and within 5 years be making incredible money. But that's the change. They're not doing it.
Do you think it's a marketing problem?
I believe that's part of it. Absolutely. Because it's not being encouraged. Because if you go sit down or just go visit one of these high schools and you have recruiters come in, it's all colleges. That's it. Or the Navy.
Yeah.
It's nothing else.
Yeah.
So they're not seeing it. I don't think I would have realized it had I not had a great mentor, like I told you before, that said, hey, I got a guy coming in. And oddly enough, he brought him in just for me. He brought him in to talk to me. But I wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
I had no idea what I was going to do. 3 months and I'm out of high school. I just assumed I was going to get a job.
Yeah.
Corey, do you you ran these schools, you get to see these kids. Do you think that some of this is the lack of giving people hope in themselves about looking to expand their own selves, get into, to think about business, to think about, my generation's so different from today's generation. I don't think I think like they do. Okay. The trades were so big in the day, and I'm now hearing, believe it or not, you might see a little bit of a turnaround. There's a lot of people saying, I'm tired of this online social AI stuff. I'm ready to go get my hands dirty. I think it's being pushed a little bit more right now, but what is it with these kids today? What are you seeing?
Well, I think some of the thing that has affected it, and I'm only going to tell you by the schools that I'm around. I'm not saying everything like this.
That's fine.
But, when I grew up, kind of like what you did, we had automotive class. We had an electrical class. I took home ec. Home ec is where I learned how to balance a checkbook.
Yep.
It's incredible the things, and I'm not blaming the kids, by any means, but it's
No.
amazing the things they can't do, like counting change back.
Yeah.
And, and we pulled all this stuff away, and they don't, it's not being presented to them, I don't believe, like it should
Mhm.
be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Jordan's right. I think some of that's marketing, some of it's just, I remember going through automotive class. I didn't like it because I knew that I wasn't a very mechanical person, but I enjoyed learning about it.
Mhm.
Right. And then like you said, home ec classes, these hands-on type of outside classes in school, you could sign up for extracurricular activity outside the school that you could go participate in, which rounded you up. Mine was hard work, sweating and mowing yards.
Yeah, exactly.
Developed the work ethic. Wanted
Yep.
to work.
Mhm.
Like getting that green cash in my hand as a kid, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
A big part of it too that I was mentioning too with the marketing is the main storyline that we hear is go to college, graduate,
Yeah.
get a good job, retire, have a good life. Like that's just kind of like the broad strokes painted, right? That you're supposed to go for. But first of all, not to get too deep into it, but I mean, the fact that you're allowed to loan thousands of dollars to a minor
Yeah.
to make it, and force them to make a decision at an age where you don't know anything.
Right.
God.
In sync, hundreds of thousands, and then allow them to pick a major that some of the, like, I think there's one called some independent studies something studies, like it's literally you can pick a major that is, I couldn't make up my mind. That's what you graduated with.
Right. Yeah.
And or things like like getting a history degree. If you're going to be like a journalist, that's a great degree for that. But if you're but it depends on the avenues that you're going to go. Some of these careers are just not going to make, like, you can look at the statistics, they're not going to make the money required to pay back what you have to invest to get that degree.
That's right.
And you were given a presentation and it blew my mind because you said that somebody that goes into HVAC and dedicates to it can hit a 6-figure salary. How long? And you even give like a time window, like how long until somebody in the HVAC industry can make a 6-figure income?
Yeah, it's going to vary a little bit depending on what kind of tech they are, from a residential to commercial to industrial.
Yeah.
Obviously, the industrial is a quicker path.
Yeah.
But that takes a little time because you're going to go through some apprenticeships, which is a little bit different. Even though if you went through a school, if you get on with one of the industrial places, they're still going to have their own 4-year apprenticeship. It doesn't matter if you're 35 years old and get started with them, you're doing a 4-year apprenticeship.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously if you're commercial tech, it's a quicker path. But even as residential, and for someone that's looking to get into their own business,
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you an example. I've got a kid that came to me right out of high school at 18 years old and said, "Hey, I'm not going to college. I'm going to work for you." And he did. And he's 22 years old. And so I'll let you guys do the math on that. And he's probably just 15 grand shy of making 100 grand.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But I will tell you this, he dug in.
Hard work.
He's done the extra.
Yeah.
If I say, hey, there's a class coming up, he's going to the class.
Right.
He just does the extra, and that makes the difference. If you're willing to dig into this business, there's a $25,000 education on YouTube. I kid you not.
You're right.
There is an education. I mean, you can learn so much. Yeah.
Thanks for mentioning YouTube. I appreciate that.
Yeah, there absolutely is. But it can be a quick path, but a lot of that depends on you.
Yeah.
There's some guys that honestly, and you need these people. They want to be maintenance techs. That's what they want to do. It's
Right.
It's rewarding, but it's not like over challenging. You're not out there trying to, you don't have a problem. You got a unit down and it's 105 degrees outside and the customer's upset. It's different challenges. So a lot of these guys, they want to stick in that field. We still make great money, but it's going to be hard to get to those 6 figures.
Yeah. Wow.
So for kids coming out of high school, what would be your advice to them if they're thinking about getting into HVAC?
Honestly, and not to knock the trade schools because I loved mine,
Mhm.
but I would encourage them to save the 25. Oddly enough, it was 25,000 when I went, and it's still 25,000 to most schools that are a year long.
Yeah.
Find a company like mine that's willing to hire you on
Mhm.
and get you started. Because most of these companies, they're not hiring you on to be a helper the rest of your life.
Right.
But I'm going to tell you, it all falls back on the person.
Yeah.
If you show up and they see that you want to learn and you want to be in this field, they're going to put you in the right position.
Yeah.
So I would encourage you to get out there and the companies are out there. Don't get, a lot of people get so discouraged, say, well, I couldn't find nothing. I went through 5 interviews. Well, go through 10, go through 15. I've always been one of those people that I'll go through 20 no's to get 1 yes.
Yes.
And a lot of times people just want to give up so quick, but I would encourage them to get in the field, get started, whether it's electrical, air conditioning, plumbing, get started. And you get paid. You get paid to get the education.
A paid internship.
And a lot
Imagine
of
that.
Yeah. A lot of these companies are just like me. During the slower season, like right now, we have a lot of classes coming up, and we just alternate 2 employees at a time, running them through the classes as my distributors put them on.
Okay.
That's awesome.
That's phenomenal.
Jordan, we should go into HVAC.
Right?
You should.
We're going to do a year-long Mansfield Buzz insider version, inside of HVAC.
Yeah. I work with a lot of I work with a lot of plumbers and electricians down in Austin because I lived there for years that I still market for. And I will tell you, I have seen them go from 1 truck to 5 trucks to they get the right kind of marketing, and they have the right people that show up. They have their meetings in the morning on the whiteboard. They have fun. They have donuts and coffee. They're laughing. They're busy.
Yep.
And I'm telling you, the trades business, if you're listening to this and you're young and you're not sure what you want to do, find a service business. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
If I had to do it all over again, I might go that route. I seriously would probably go that route.
And I believe it's one of the easiest business to start your own business.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good.
You guys heard it. Go for it. That's awesome. And yeah, I mean, to your point, and with the trades, I think they're not represented justly. It's so rewarding. I went go to college, get an office job. I never feel as good about anything as I do when I'm using my hands, when I'm like involved in something. And honestly, going from being self-employed to being a business owner, that is probably the hardest thing to let go of, is using your hands, because there's such a rewarding feeling that comes with it. And then at a certain point, you have to make the conscious decision to step away. Yeah. And that's difficult. I didn't have a single issue just stepping away from corporate life and a desk job. Like, that was not a problem. But stop making, stop doing, stop fixing. That is challenging. Yeah.
So, Jordan, isn't it interesting that we've been on 43 minutes and we have not talked about 2 SEERs, 1 ton, 3 ton air conditioning units? We're talking about the trade itself. And I just think that, you either learn that or you don't, right, Corey? So, I mean, it's not about that thing sitting out by the house. It's the people that you have surrounding you know what they're doing and can fix things and make it right for a client. That's really cool.
Absolutely.
Good story.
And I think really, when you think about, again, the trades and services like this, when you see it from the consumer point of view, actually, you know what? You said it best. Like, it's really not about how much you know. It's really about how much you care about me. And this, I mean, you're really like, I can see your love for this field, just pulling from like where it came from and all this love and passion that you poured into it. Like, I don't need to know your operational specifics and the R whatever number that now you're using. Like, I know you're on top of it, right? Like, I know it. and we don't we don't necessarily need to go into those specific to get that. Now we can, because we have the expert on the line, so we can talk a little bit about just the a little bit of the changes. But just to really kind of wrap it with a bow is, I mean, I think your journey's fascinating, dude, and it's a very encouraging story.
Yeah, and Jordan, I think anybody that listens to this goes back on demand and it gets played over and over in the next year or so, are going to change their mind and think about this business. I really mean that. And if they're working for another AC company and they're unhappy, or an HVAC, they might even consider talking to Corey, which I'm telling you, that will happen simply because of this conversation today, because we're talking about people. And some guy's going to sit there listening to this and go, you know what? My life's miserable. I hate where I work. I need to mix in with people that care about me. And they're going to hear this and think I need to make a change. That's the power of this. And that's what I love, is we're getting this great story today, Jordan.
Oh, yes. So Corey,
has nothing to do with the HVAC. That's just amazing. By the way, he works for Texas Air Assurance, just so y'all know. Okay.
Yes.
TX Air Assurance.
Texas.
Family owned.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that too.
Oh, that's the best. That's the best part. And, for people listening, how old is too old? Like, if you're wanting to like just make a change, you're like, man, this sounds like something I could do. Like, how old is too old?
Well, that's going to really depend on the person. But, obviously in this field, I would say you need to be healthy.
Yeah.
But even maintenance techs, which I said is really a rewarding side for me, because if you're out there doing it, because you're seeing the customer, they're feeling the impact of our maintenance plan, because their system's not failing. So those maintenance techs don't only have to go out and do a great job just keeping it going. It's the PR work behind it, saying, hey,
sure,
while I was here, I saw the insulation on your condenser, the dog had chewed it up. So we went ahead and replaced that for you, and just showing them a little before and after picture. So, if there are older people that were looking to change to get in this, a lot of companies hire just maintenance techs. I have four school districts, I believe, that we work on quarterly that keeps us incredibly busy. It's perfect for guys like that.
Yeah.
Because it's not, you're not carrying big compressors, and you're not, it's still hot work.
Sure.
But it's just not overwhelming work, and it's still rewarding. So,
and they get to be in touch with your client and keep them in the fold,
100%.
and alert them of things coming up that could be really important.
They are just as important, if not more important, than the guy that can come out there and actually fix it.
Right. Because in Texas in the summer, out of sight, out of mind. We don't think about it. We just expect it to work.
That's right. That's right.
Yes. And if you can avoid those disasters when we hit the hundreds, and suddenly
that's why you have maintenance programs. That's right.
Absolutely.
So that brings me up to another part that I think is really cool about what you do. And so to go back to our journey, right? So you, about 10 years ago, really spend time looking into how the business works. You have these service mentality to how you do things, and then you get creative with it. So tell me a little bit about the Comfort Club, because this is something that I haven't really heard about, and the way you do it particularly is, I just think it's awesome. Honestly, I think it's crazy until you kind of ran me through it, but I just thought you were out of your mind.
Yeah, Jordan, I saw that. I saw the Comfort Club. What the heck is that?
You and my wife both.
What is this guy thinking?
So about 10 years ago, roughly 10, 15 years ago, I got involved with a company called Praxis, and they're basically they teach you how to run your business. That you look into KPIs. I didn't even know what a KPI was 10 years ago. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Okay. And for anybody out there that's listening, if you don't know, you need to know. It is so important. It's your key performance issues. What are you missing? What are you doing? keeping track of the customers that have 20-year-old systems that, hey, this is a future change out. It's coming up.
Yep.
And in that class, I sat in Sarasota, Florida. One of the things they brought up was maintenance plans. And I'd always had this idea in the back of my head, with a few options. And man, I would lose sleep at night thinking about this, because I was always thinking, okay, in our business, we're always busy for 6 months. We're so busy. And I got so tired of hearing, well, you got to save that money for the next 6 months. I'm like, there has to be a better way. Yeah. So I wanted to build some, if you will, mailbox money. Mm-hmm. What can I do? So that's what created Comfort Club. I created a maintenance plan that I built on a membership. And, my wife at the time thought I was absolutely insane.
Out of your mind. Right.
Yeah. And then it's all of a sudden, once it got to running downhill, it just started going and going and going. And I am currently at about 750 customers at $59 a month. I'll let you do the math on that. That's revenue that comes in every month.
Now, what I love about this is I like you put a mailbox money, but you're really talking about is cash flow, which is
absolutely
another thing that we as business owners, or when we're self-employed and then become business owners, you start understanding cash flow a little bit better. I was joking with Sam, like I used to think that cash flow meant having cash. It's like, nope, that's not it.
No, cash flow is flow.
Exactly. So you understand this and you structure it in a way so you have this recurring cash flow coming in. But the way you structure this, your customers are getting an insane deal.
Yes.
It's just insane. So much so that when I saw it, like, seriously, I'm like, I thought you were pirating. Like, I thought you were like testing out an offer. Like, what is this? And I'm like, bro, like, don't do this. What are you thinking?
Yeah.
You've been doing it for years.
So Jordan, what HVAC company has a membership program? Because in the old days, or still these days, all you see is, let's do that tune-up. Let's come out one time and spend $69 and do a tune-up.
And there is a difference between a tune-up
and a tune-up and tune-up is nothing.
Nothing.
That vent works. Oh, that switch works. Oh, that thermostat works. Yeah,
and it's a sales pitch to get more money.
Sure it is.
Yeah,
sure it is.
Yeah. So I cut myself a little short on this sometimes, because it actually took a lot of work, and I did a lot of thinking when I got into this. But I actually got on the phone with insurance companies, because even though I'm not insurance, it works like insurance. And I started finding out that the rate of people with a claim was 15%. And I started doing the math on it, going, that's low. And if I can build this membership, and once I get past 100 customers, and oh my goodness, when I get to 200 customers, and then me knowing the value of the components and stuff that I cover, the math just worked. And if you don't really look at it and break it down, you do look at it and go, there's no way. But I can tell you, I think I'm 6 to 7 years in, there's a way. It works. I had people in the industry tell me that this absolutely, what are you doing? And I knew it would work. You just have to do it.
And I know I have your flyer somewhere over here, because I was reading through. I'm like, this is, you're out of your mind, but you're not. So let's do a little sizzle here on the hook for our audience. Like, this deal is so good, there's no way you're making money. Tell us what you're doing, because I think for people listening to, they're gonna
want to do this. And I was going to ask him, please go through that with us.
Okay.
I want to hear about it.
So I'll kind of go back to what Hurdy said a little earlier. You see a lot of these $49 tune-ups, $69 tune-ups. They're basically coming out, throwing a set of gauges on, and either trying to upsell you or maybe lock you in as a customer. I mean, there's legitimate companies out there. They're not all trying to rip you off by any means, but it's a hook. Well, when I created the Comfort Club plan, I wanted to give you value. because you're going to buy it and you're going to buy in if there's value to this.
Mhm.
So I created this Comfort Club plan to where we're going to come into your home. We're going to give you a free air duct cleaning. We're going to service your air conditioning systems, no matter if it's 1, 2, or 3. Okay. We're going to give you duct sanitization for molds, mildews, and viruses. We're going to give you a free dryer vent cleaning. I actually own a pest control company as well. So the pest control company is going to give you quarterly pest control with the termite warranty.
Oh
And
my
you're
God.
going to get all of that for $59 a month. But here's the best part, and the part that I told I was crazy on.
Mhm.
And here's why I dug into the insurance. If any of your electrical components fail, we cover them. You're just going to pay me the labor of $125 an hour at a maximum 3 hours for the repair. So to give you a quick example, you get a compressor that's out of warranty and you're not on my Comfort Club, I'm $2,500. If you're on my Comfort Club, it's going to cost you $375.
I mean, think about the duct cleaning itself and the sanitization of that. That is a process. That is a real, and I'll tell you what, a lot of people don't even know, Corey, that there's lots of fires cost because they don't take the time to clean out their dryer vent
The dryer
because
vent.
it builds up, and so getting that thing pushed out and cleaned out is awesome. I
It's
mean,
absolutely the
it's
leading
absolutely
cause.
necessary. And I'm even went to my apartment complex the other day and told them they need to have somebody from maintenance come in, I mean, outside and do all the dryer cleaning, or they're going to burn down a building down
Yeah, it is absolutely the leading cause of fires.
Yeah.
The other thing that I left off is for Comfort Club members, no service call fees, which ours is $89 during the week, $150 on the weekend.
So-
you never get that impact, and we never charge you for Freon. And my price is $100 a pound,
So-
and I'm $200 if it's R22. But if you're a member, you don't pay me for the refrigerant.
So they pay this one-time fee, yearly fee, annual fee, and they get all that stuff.
Yes, $59 a month. That's it. And here's the great thing. We do tie you in the first year because we put so much work.
Well, you
into your
have
house
to. Yeah, you have
that
to.
first day. But here's the great thing. At the end of that year, it's not a contract anymore. If you stop that 59, I promise you we're going to stop showing up. But I bet we don't have average of about 5 customers a year that we lose. And it's never because and
They don't want it. Something comes up. Right.
It's something else. Yeah, I was going to say it's nothing we've
They've got
done.
to take care of.
Yeah, it's financial, or they moved. That's usually it.
It's probably because they moved or they died.
Yeah.
So, little. I am very familiar with the Hilti drill. I did pest control to pay my way through some times back in the days, and I was the lucky guy. Got to drill all the holes around.
All the holes for the termite job.
And inside the house, and watch the wife panic when I was cutting the porcelain floor back to drill underneath the tub.
Yep.
So the other thing I discovered today, I remembered we had a lot of ice, and that ice fell as sleet, and sleet sticks to metal. So the first thing I did at my apartment, because I knew maintenance wasn't smart enough to do it, was I went out and made sure my fan did not have a huge buildup of ice on it.
We just got a lot of those about a
and
week
shipped
ago.
it off. And I bet you got a lot of those calls.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. God, can you believe that, Jordan? That is awesome.
Yeah, it's yeah. For those of you listening, so Corey, most important question here. So you just wowed everybody with what you're offering.
Yep.
I mean, if you need your vents cleaned, which you do, I mean, that's basically what it's going to cost you. If you need the dry, like there's so many goodies in here, like the value is insane. So somebody listening to you now are like, okay, shut up and take my money. How do they take your money?
Well, they simply just call the office number and tell them, hey, I want to sign up for that Comfort Club. We'll get their email information. By the way, I have 3 girls in the office. The phone's answered 7 days a week. Just get us that email information. We'll send you over the plan, and you push go, and we'll get you scheduled.
do me a favor, Corey, real quick, because I'm going to add a banner. Give me your number, because I want to put that in the YouTube description too. What's the phone number?
972-935-0198.
0198.
That's it.
Let me make sure this is it. I'm going to put it up. Take a look at it. Tell me if I got it right.
Another thing, Jordan, talking about value, as Comfort Club members, we guarantee you the best price in the industry when it's time to change the system. And we just changed some recently that there was nobody within $4,000 of my price. I'm not looking for the home run, the one-time change out. I'm looking for the customer for the next 10, 15 years. Yeah. So yes, I mean, it would be lying to you if I told you I wasn't still making money. I'm in business to make money.
Yeah.
But and I'm as competitive as anyone. I'm fair market, but we take it heavily discounted if you're a member.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they're a loyal customer and you want to keep repeating with them on the comfort. That's just awesome.
And we love it if they price check us. I love it when the customer goes, "Hey, I almost feel guilty telling you this, but I went ahead and got another bid. And, you were right." I said, "I knew I would be."
Yeah. Yeah. Now, did you check your number real quick? I'm going to put it up again.
That's correct.
All right, good. We're going to put that in the YouTube, and I'm going to put the comfort package inside the YouTube description, Jordan, so that people can go call them right away, or also go to the website. So that's really cool.
Yes. And here's your website.
Yep.
txairassurance.com.
That's it.
And go check you out there. Man, Corey, that was what a roller coaster, bro.
Well, I think it speaks volumes to somebody that was willing to step out scared to death and go through the learning curve, the fail fast thing. We've heard fail fast. We've heard fail slow. Jordan, we've been through it.
Mm-hmm.
You're through it. I've been through it. It scares you to death. You got to learn how to run a business. You got to learn how to keep spreadsheets. Got to learn how to keep taxes. Got to learn how to save money, and learn when to spend it, when to hold it. Right. So yeah, I get it. I love it.
Corey, dude, this has been fantastic, man. Thank you so much for sharing so much with you. Your story's fascinating, and the progression of everything is just such a empowering example of how this looks like when you do it with conviction and with courage, right? Because you can't be confident over something you've never done, but the courage that you've shown up with time and time again, and just now finishing with the Comfort Club, like even just taking a shot at that and setting it up.
It's taking a good team. It's not just me, for sure. It's taking some good people with me. So,
oh yeah, we what's the other quote? Like, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
There you go. Love it.
I love that too. All right. So, Corey, stick with us for a few minutes after, because we're saving your individual voice recording too to our server farm. So we're going to make sure it fully loads. So just hang off when we go off air for just a few minutes with us. Guys, thank you for joining us on the Mansfield Buzz today. We're back every Thursday at 2 p.m. with new businesses from the Mansfield and surrounding area. And you get cool content just like we did today. And you get great information to help you. And you might want to come work for this guy, because I'm telling you right now, if I was in this business, I would sit down with him. And I'm telling you right now, I would say, I'm gonna go talk to that Corey guy. I want to see what he has to offer. So check him out. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us, Mansfield Buzz. Y'all have a good day. Corey, thank you. Jordan, great leadership on the stream. We appreciate it. Y'all have a good day.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, y'all.